Thank you. Listening to that, James Wilde, the Conservative MP for North West Norfolk, and we'll start with that final point there. James, Rachel Reeves, that the situation that she's been dealt, are they not still clearing up the mess that they inherited?
No, good morning, Chris. No, what we saw yesterday was the Chancellor breaking her promises again on tax. She's increased tax by another £26 billion. So that's £66 billion in 2 years, not mentioned in Labour's manifesto. And why did she do that yesterday? In order to pay for more welfare spending. And that's the wrong choice. And you spoke about the freeze in income tax. Nearly 800,000 people will be dragged into paying basic rate tax, with nearly 1 million more dragged into paying higher rate tax as a result of this. And it was only last year Rachel Reeves ruled out extending this because it would hurt working people and she wouldn't do it. So she's broken her promise. It's a wrong choice. She's increasing welfare spending. And what's happened on growth has been downgraded in every year for the next 4 years. This was meant to be a growth government, and people listening to this programme and anyone scanning the front pages of newspapers will have a very different take, I suspect, from the one we just heard from Alice, which just seems quite divorced from the actuality here. This is a budget that punishes farmers, punishes savers, punishes people going out to work, and punishes pensioners.
The freezing of income tax thresholds was first introduced by Rishi Sunak, though, wasn't it, when he was Chancellor? So isn't Rachel Reeves just carrying on the policy started by the Conservatives?
Well, it was absolutely introduced by Rishi Sunak after the pandemic to pay back some of the £400 billion that we put in place to protect people's lives and livelihoods. But that policy was due to expire under Conservative plans by 2028. She's decided to extend it for 3 years. A year ago, she said she wouldn't do that. I do think breaking promises like that can't just be blithely ignored. She didn't apologise in Parliament for doing that. And where's the money going? It's going for the 5,000 people a day being signed off on sickness benefits and on a welfare bill that's going to hit £100 billion if there's no changes. And there were no changes. There's no savings on welfare in here. I'm also worried about the impact of it on younger people. There's going to be, the OBR says, cuts to spending per pupil in our schools. Alice talked about schools. She's now supporting a budget that's going to have less money going into schools. And what does this do for job opportunities? Unemployment is predicted to continue to be higher than Labour inherited. And students are going to be paying more back on their loans as well. So I'm not sure who this budget was for. It certainly wasn't for people in Norfolk. There wasn't any investment coming into Norfolk. Things like Ely Junction, Hawley Junction near Norwich have been cancelled by this government. They have kept the hospitals programme. That's good, under pressure. But we haven't seen any new investment coming to our area. So I don't think this is a budget that did very much for Norfolk and is actually going to hit working people and also businesses.
What about the point I made at the start, though, that this is still the situation that was inherited by Labour, that there is still some degree of Conservative responsibility for the financial situation of the country, isn't there?
Well, what's happened we didn't get everything right, Chris, obviously, but unemployment has gone up every month under this government. Inflation's doubled from the level that was inherited. And these are choices. A year ago, Rachel Reeves imposed a £25 billion national insurance rise, a jobs tax. And we've seen jobs hemorrhage in the hospitality sector, in the retail sector. Over 100,000 people have lost their jobs because she made it too expensive to hire people. So these are her choices, and she's chosen, rather than the alternative we set out, which is to control spending. We spend £1.3 trillion a year. We've suggested making £47 billion worth of savings, including £23 billion on welfare. There's no need to raise taxes. This is a choice that she's chosen to raise taxes, but she's done it in order to increase welfare spending. That's not going into the productive side of the economy. And there's nothing in this budget that's going to drive the growth that we need to see. And that's why the forecasts have been downgraded for the next 4 years, as I say. So we should be focusing on growth. We should be focusing on supporting businesses rather than going after, it seems, the people doing the right thing, people saving, people working, and businesses who want to invest.
James Wilde, Conservative MP for North West Norfolk, thank you.